Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back. It's Monday the 6th, and today I've got the burner set up, and I've got the deer antler out, pot of water, and part 2 of the antler knife build. And today what we're going to do is take this antler, boil it, and then I'm going to attempt to straighten it out and take that curve right there out of it with my vise. Hopefully the vise is big enough. And here we go. Put it on max and get that water to boil. When it gets to boiling, I'll drop the antler in there and give it about 30 minutes, and I'll check it from time to time. And when I check it, I'll bring you out. I got my gloves there. I still got to get a set of tongs and possibly some cardboard or something to wrap around that antler when I put it in that vise. And I hope my vise is big enough. That's my only concern. And wow, things are heating up pretty quick. Anyhow, I'm gonna fill the bird feeders up for the first time since midsummer. Maybe we'll get some little birds in here. I haven't seen any so far, so we'll get that going again too. But anyway, when the thing gets to boiling, I'll bring you back and we'll check it out. All right, looks like it's just beginning to boil. Maybe a couple more minutes and I'll drop that antler in there. But I got two of my feeders full. And some sunflower seeds. And then I like to put some on the ground too, so that some of them little guys prefer to eat off the ground. And I got that one filled up, and I noticed the plastic has got a crack in it right in through there. And then I need to dump that and get another one of those suet blocks. And somewhere on the ground there's another one, probably buried in the leaves, and in there somewhere. I'll find it if it's still any good. Anyway, didn't mean to get sidetracked, but I did mention that while I was waiting on that to boil, that I was going to get some bird seed out. This is a 12-pound bag, and it almost fills that 35-pound Tidy Cat container, so it's perfect. I like to use those for storage for other things too. It comes in handy, especially if you're for your smoker. All right. Well, when that thing gets finished, when it gets to boiling, I'll bring you back. All right, it looks like it's beginning to boil, so I'm going to go ahead and put that antler down in there and give it about 30 minutes, and then I'll be back, and we'll put it in the vise and try not to crack it. That was one of the things that they were stressing, was when you go to put pressure on it with that vise, do it easy. All right, bring you back when it's ready to put in the vise. All right, it's about that time. I'll get my piece of cardboard to put in there. I'll set it down like so that it gives a little protection. And then I'll use these gloves to hopefully there ain't a spider in them. I think these are welding gloves. And let's get that out of there. All right. Put that down in there like like so. Wrestle with it a minute. And try to hurry every chance you get. And begin to make that squeeze nice and easy. Looks like it's it's trying. I may have to do this more than once. Alright. We shut this heat off on this. Turn that down. And gloves over here. Like I said, I don't want to do any more than I have to. It is straightening a little bit. Alright, that's where I'll quit on that. Excuse me. I've taken some of the curvature out of that. And like I said, I'll let it cool. And then we'll boil it again so I can get a little more out of it. So that'll be all we do today. Bring you back tomorrow when we do it again. Okay, it's 24 hours later, and I'm going to turn the fire on. Oh, let's do this. Forgot I had unplugged it because it's got that little. Now I get to do this one-handed. Oh, give me some slack here. There we go. And drop the cord again. Get that plugged in. And I got the fire going. I'll let that go for, I think I see little bubbles coming out of that deer antler just from it soaking. We're going to get it boiling again and put it back in the vise. And kind of an update on my little bird feeders. I scared off a bunch of little finches, so I'm glad to see those little guys back, getting them a bite to eat. It took a couple of days to get it done, but they're back. Got a tree branch down in the yard too, so eventually I'll start burning some stuff and getting some leaves raked up. But alright, when I get that thing back in the vise, I'll bring you back. Have a look. Well, happy Friday morning, folks. Come out here to check this thing out, and I'm not sure this is going to end too well. That's a pretty good sized crack in that antler. It may have been just too old, or of course I might be able to epoxy that and save it, but let me get it out of there first, and let's have a look at it and see how bad off it is. I may be doing something completely different. Remember which way to turn it. That would be helpful. Alright. Yeah, oh boy, it broke. Alright. Cracked it pretty good. Of course, this would have been the back part of it. It did straighten out quite a bit, but boy, howdy, did it take a nasty break. Alright, well, I do have a little bit of 2-part epoxy. I can probably mix a little together and fill that up. Wow. Cranked it too much. I think that soaking might have been too much on it. So, And I didn't bring the knife with me to see if maybe by chance this could be converted over. I might be able to do something with this one. Make it pretty thick handle. I was wanting something like this on the end of it anyway, so let's see what happens. Okay, I've gathered together a few things. There's my two-part epoxy glaze coat. I've got some of that blue tape, a kitty cat treat container, and two mixing scoops. And the game plan, let me get this adjusted down, I'm going to put that blue tape on that antler. Because that crack, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, it goes through the end there. So I'm going to put this tape over that end to try to seal it. And have a look at that. I'll have to set it up. I need to make sure it stays. So what I will do is put a piece of tape on the antler here and get it tilted. Come on, stay. Get it tilted up. Wants to be stubborn. Well, we'll just wad this up a piece of tape like so. Stick it underneath here like that. And that will keep it all in place. Now, I am going to, of course, this is high gloss stuff. Well, I tell you what, I better put some paper towel down, or my wife will throw a fit if I mess the top up on her island. This is two-part epoxy. Make sure my any dirt and crap in it, and I'll pour a little bit of that. And what I'll do is I'll fill that scoop up to the top. While I'm at it, that thing's kind of nasty with old residue on it. Alright, there's that one. And then let me wipe this out real quick. And then pour what they call side B into this. And of course, I'm making too much. There we go. Now that I've got these measured off, what I need to do is find myself something to stir that with, something that won't get me in trouble. It looks like something I might be able to use. Or she may frown upon me doing this too, but anyway, made myself a stir stick. Now I'll use this cat treat container, and I will pour the contents of the part A and part B of this resin in there. Now when this thing dries, it's going to amber a little bit. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm I'm hoping that this is salvageable. It should be. This stuff is nasty. And then side B. Set that down in there, let that drain, and then I'll get it mixed. And then I'm just going to simply, what I've just mixed together, I'm just going to pour it into that crack and then let it set up. And then I'm going to change methods. I was going to use the boil method and shove that onto the knife handle, or I always forget what they call that, the tang. But I think what I'm going to do now, when this thing sets up, I'll put it in my vise and do the best that I can to drill straight down. And then I bought some two-part epoxy for that sort of thing. And what I'm hoping happens is you just thoroughly mix this up. I'll just use that two-part epoxy and set that handle in there. It'll be interesting as far as getting the holes drilled. And I might even cut a little of that tang off. Man, there's a lot of bubbles in that thing. But anyway, whatever excess, I'm going to have to do a little sanding on this anyway and do some shaping once I get it put together. So it's really not going to be that big of a deal, I don't think. Famous last words, right? All right, let's see what happens here. Let me get this turned a little better. Should probably do this right-handed so you guys can get a better view of it. And then all I'm going to do is just ease that down into that crack. Like I said, I got a lot of it pouring down. Give me just a second. When you get old, your eyes start to go. Alrighty. Looks like there might now throw a little more down in there. Just kind of just nice and easy. I forgot what the pot life was on this resin. But I noticed there's a lot of smaller surface cracks on that, but this is going to be sanded down. I don't know if you can see what I'm pointing at. This area here I need to grind it down to match up with the brass. And then I thought about, shaping it up, where you have some sort of little finger reliefs in it. And I think it might need a little bit more. No, actually, it looks like it may be full. All right, well, probably ought to get my heat gun out. But then again, I don't care about the bubbles. It's a knife handle, so it's not going to be seen. All right, this is where we're at. Give you a closer shot if I can get down there. We got that crack filled in, and it's just a matter of time now. So I'll bring you back when that's fixed and we start drilling. See you in a little bit. Okay, it's time to pick up where we left off. I got some cleaning to do. This is an epoxy. Here's where the repair was made. I'm fixing to get after it with a grinder. Stay tuned. Okay. Of course, I did a bad thing. I went out there without I didn't have my respirator on. Of course, we had a lot of wind blowing and went and blew my nose real hard. But that's where that crack was at, guys. And now I just need to drill it. And I'm going to have to shorten the tang on that knife too. So I'll get this started, and then I'll get my Dremel tool set up with that little cutting wheel. And I will shorten it, as far as whatever I need. Anyway, bring you back. Okay, we are beginning the journey. Don't have a clue, but we're going to figure it out. Ah, boy, what have I done? We'll manage. Okay, what I've done now is I've shortened that tang up a little bit, and I've cut myself some small notches in it so that when that epoxy hardens, it'll grab up inside them notches and prevent that knife from sliding out of that handle. In theory, should work. That little Dremel tool's been in. That's the second one I've had. First one I wore out, just flat quit working on me. So I upgraded and got a little bit better one. Anyway, let's see what happens. I've been working on that. Here we go. All right, I'm getting there, just kind of whittling it back and forth. Once I get that epoxy in there, and then I can start whittling it down. All right, back in a few. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta go in and make a sandwich. I got about 30 minutes before I have to leave for work. But here it is. It's just it's there. I just have to yeah, you couldn't see it. I've got to now, when I get it epoxied and everything's solidified and ready to blah blah, I've got to shape that thing and kind of get it to fit the brass a little better. So there's a lot of material that I'll need to take off of that, and that will make it a little easier to grip. And then we'll kind of go from there, just to kind of shape it up to get it to fit my hand, and we'll be done. Can't wait to send photos to George, let him know how his knife blade's coming along that I bought from him. Anyhow, you guys have a great day, and I'll get back with you tomorrow. Well, good morning, folks. We're still working on the knife blade handle, and I want to kind of bring you up to speed. I got ahead of myself as far as video goes. I got out here and started working, and didn't bring the tripod, so I wasn't able to really set it up. So I'm going to put this in the vise again and reach over here and kind of do a little better job. What I did to start off with is I found a drill bit that was close to the same width as the tang, and I drilled the first hole in the center of that antler, and then I drilled a secondary hole. And then what I had done was I would work this drill bit back and forth, using it as a cutting bit until I got my slot cut out. You just, don't get in any hurry. Take your time with it, and you constantly want to test fit, because you don't want it to get it too loose, and that could be borderline. But I also was trying to give myself enough room inside there for the epoxy to expand out a little bit. And one of the things that I had done, let me put the I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I had cut some little grooves in that tang. Of course, I also cut it off because it was a little bit too long for the handle. But the little notches that I cut are for the sole purpose of keeping, giving the epoxy, if you will, an area to expand into and lock that blade into place. So that's what I have done now up to this point. And what I'm going to do now, I thought I was going to go ahead and epoxy the blade in place, but I think what I want to do first, what I think I should do first, is work on shaping the handle. Make sure I don't have more debris down in there. I need to make sure that the handle is shaped properly. I gotta, shape it around that brass and kind of work with it a little bit. And I do have a little bit of a wobble to it, and I'm hoping that the epoxy will take care of that. It was just a little bit too wide, but anyway, I'm gonna get to work on this. I don't know the best way to attack this, but it's going to be trial and error. And I've got my dust mask. I got one of these respirators like this right here, because they say that the last thing you want to do is get a lung full of deer antler. They say it's really, really bad. So, all right, I'm going to get to work. I'll grind a little bit and then grind a little bit and shut the camera off, and then continue to work. Yeah. There we go. Plug the camera, or maybe I want to. No, I took the wheel off the drive. All right. Let's see what happens. That should go pretty quick. All right, I'll bring you back when I get some more progress made. Over and out. Okay, guys, I'm fixing to get the. I don't know how much. I'm gonna tilt that down. I'm gonna wipe some of this antler dust off this handle. Whew, that thing stinks. Those particles are so fine. I think they actually probably went through my mask. Wouldn't be surprised, but it's wobbling just a little bit more, so I'll need to get that. But I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to, and it fits pretty good. It's got kind of a shape to it and stuff, and kind of fits my hand. Like I said, it's wobbling a little bit, so I need to get the epoxy in it, and then I need to, I guess, do some research and see what people are putting over the top of antlers for finish and stuff to kind of bring out the beauty in it. But I think I'm gonna call this good as far as getting it shaped and stuff, because like I said, it fits my hand pretty well. I just need to work on getting a sheath for it, but that ought to be able to reach up inside the chest cavity if I want to use it for that, or if I just want to display it. Yeah. And like I said, the probably mentioned early on. I'm getting tongue tied here. The knife blade came from Pukua Cutlery, and they are out of I believe it's Duluth, Minnesota. I'll when I post this video, I will also put a link down in the description on where you can go and take a look at some of George's knives. He's got some really beautiful hunting knives, and you know, I'm looking forward to using these next year. All right, I'll be back in a few when I have it all kind of doctored up and I have the epoxy set in. Okay, guys, this will be it for this afternoon. This is the final update for today, anyway. I used that two-part epoxy, and it didn't take it long to set up already. Still still a little gooey, but they said it had a 30 minute cure time, and that's not quite 30 minutes, and it's already setting up, so it's pretty quick. That should hold that knife together pretty good. I went to the tractor house for some supplies in linseed oil, and oddly enough, they don't carry it. A farm and ranch store that doesn't carry linseed oil. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but you would think that they would. So I guess in the morning I'll get up, go to the big hardware store, and get a small quantity of linseed oil, because from what I've been researching there, it's been said that it seals and protects that handle and will bring back some of that brown color that was lost through using the sander on it and that sort of thing. But anyway, we're getting there, and I think I might make a little display stand or something for it. This is the first one I've ever done. Learned quite a bit, and it's helpful to have some YouTube videos out there. I'm just not the world's best at setting up multi-cameras and trying to go through all that business. I'd rather just take one quick shoot and put a small blog video together, and just, you know, I'd be happy to help somebody out if they want to have any questions to ask about it. But you know, it is what it is. You guys have a great afternoon, and I will see you shortly. Well, hello, folks. Earlier today, I was out in the garage, and this was the good morning. It's Friday, and we had some rain and stuff. It's still kind of sprinkling. They were predicting doom and gloom. And with the bird feeder, I have the squirrels back, and he looks pretty good. And of course, she's got him spotted. All right. And then I guess you can't mess with the zoom when this thing's filming. But he's out there in the yard, so I'm gonna hit pause, fix the zoom, and be right back. Okay. Well, last night, like I said, we were having the doom and the gloom. It's supposed to be freezing rain and ice, and it didn't happen. So I stopped off at Wally World and picked up some linseed oil. But what I wanted to show you is this cutoff from that knife, from the knife handle. Of course, it fitted. Yeah, let me get my. That's where that came from. Anyway, what I got here, I've got this, and of course, it was actually bleached out. And when I cleaned the blade up, I've got this. What I've done, I took my my blowtorch that I've got, and I went over this section up to about right here, and then this little area. And forgive me for the lighting. Let me see if I can get this now. That doesn't help. Anyway, that's linseed oil over just the bleached antler. Of course, I don't think that's going to darken as much. And that is using the blowtorch and then putting the linseed oil on it. And that actually gets it pretty close to that right there, as far as the original color of these antlers. I'll get over on this one because it's closer. You can see. So what I think I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to use the blowtorch on that handle so I can darken that handle up a little bit, and be able to make it look like it originally did when it was on the deer. And then the linseed oil will seal and protect that handle from, I do plan on, if I don't use it, I'll display it. That is my first attempt at making an antler handle. And you just kind of, well, from what I've learned, and it's got a funky shape to it, but when you put it in your hand, it's right there. And it fits the shape of my hand, as far as that slight curve that you have when you're closing your fingers and whatnot around it. So very, different. Like I said, it's got a funky shape to it. But I'm happy with it. I don't know if I'm going to drill a hole in this thing or not to put a paracord in it, or just leave it alone. As time progresses, I may even do some things to maybe decorate the handle a little bit. I don't know. If I do anything at all, it'd probably be on the very end of it right there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to continue work, and I will bring you back as soon as I get that thing sealed up. See you shortly. Okay, don't try this at home. I gotta be careful how I hold that knife. and it will stick you. It takes a few passes to bring that coloration back. And why I've opted to do this is because it brings out, it's beginning to look more like an antler. God, don't let me screw this up. I'm nervous about holding that knife blade. I hope you guys are seeing this because I don't have any way of checking that viewfinder. I'm starting to like how this is turning out because it's starting to bring out some veins and things, if you will. It takes a couple of passes to bring out the coloration. Get that edge done. I may not have to do anything else with this other than put the linseed oil on it, which will also add me give it another twist. Like I said, I'm trying not to. That knife is sharp. I've already found that out the hard way. Probably can't see what I'm doing with my arm in the way. All right, let me let that cool a minute so I can. But this is what this is what the effect we're trying to get. We're trying to get it to look like it did. That's why it's warm. All right, let me set that down, and I'm hoping that the heat's not affecting the. But this is what we're going after. I don't know. On this young buck, I think that he might have been a 3-year-old, 3.5 maybe. Anyhow, this is what we're going after, is to bring that coloration back, and that torch is actually doing it. And then when I put the linseed oil on, it'll actually darken it up a little bit more and seal it up, protect it, and then I won't have to worry about, or I shouldn't have to worry about it getting stained. But when that cools down, I'm going to take another crack at it, and I'll bring you back, and we'll film it. See you in a few. All right, it's time to give this another try. That antler got really hot. Kind of concerned me a little bit because I don't want the that epoxy to get too hot. I'll be concerned about it coming set that down, give it a turn. I'll watch my fingers too. All right, let it cool down another minute or 2 or 10. And I noticed that when I hit it with that torch, it opened up that antler back here. Ow! Yeah. So we got another crack in it, but it's not that bad. I can probably live with that. All right, let her cool down so I can put it to the put some more heat on it. Okay, guys, I didn't bother filming applying the linseed oil. It's pretty cut and dry. I used an old sock, and there's my linseed oil there, and wiped it down on both sides, and it's got kind of a matte finish. Of course, I got a little dark here and here with the torch, but I think through the years of use, it'll probably wear off because it's just charred, and I guess periodically I'll need to go back and put more linseed oil on it and just keep it sealed and protected. But there it is. It's a nice Pukua knife, and like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It might be Puka. Anyway, try not to beat me up too bad, but I would like to thank George for having that knife the knife blade, and something else. Give me just a second. Okay, this is the other knife that I purchased from George from Puka Cutlery, and I'll put a link on it. This has got a burl handle, and it's a shorter knife as far as versus this one here. And this one I purchased because I wanted a short blade so that I can, and I've said it before, to be able to get up into the chest cavity. I wasn't able to do that with that great big buck knife of mine. And then, of course, this knife also came with this really nice carry case. Looks like it's probably a stag, and I guess it's some stars or something. I don't have my glasses on. But anyway, that's going to bring this video to a close. I may build a stand for that knife just for the heck of it, because I've seen them and they look kind of cool with the leftover pieces of antler. But yeah, there it is. I'm excited, and like I said, it turned out better than I expected, being the first time that I've ever done anything like that before. So I do believe I'll try to do another couple of knives, and I may sell them if they turn out nice enough. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Also, just for the heck of it, if you like the video, click the like button, share it, and I do invite everyone to subscribe. So anyway, you guys, once again, have a great weekend, and see you on the next video.